I gotta put all my gear away, so I figured it'd be a good time to go over what I carry. Not every day, I guess, I don't know, this isn't really my everyday carry. That kind of varies day by day, but one thing I always keep is my little wild edibles bag, because it's a multi-purpose item. I can use it as a head net to keep mosquitoes off in the summer. I can use it to gather wild edibles, and I can use it to filter large particles out of water, whether it be tea or what have you. And another thing I almost always carry is this here. This is my multi-purpose canteen pouch. And it's a bit disheveled right now because I've been using it. I don't really believe in carrying gear if I'm not going to be using it. I know some guys disagree with that, but I use the stuff. There's no sense in me carrying it if I'm not going to use it. But I have this aluminum coffee pot. I'll show you this in reverse order as I'm putting it away. And inside of it goes my stainless mug. Inside of that stainless mug goes a 1 gallon Ziploc baggie, freezer bag. And another Ziploc quart baggie with some paper towels in it for using the bathroom or whatever I may need to do. The paper towels can also be used as a fine filter to filter water, to filter out fine sediment. And I always have my little mini mag light. Chapstick, that's another multi-use item. I can use that to lubricate my knife or my gun or something if I need to in a pinch. And it's good for chapped lips and a bunch of other things. Could use it to start fires. I got a couple small lengths of paracord. You know, paracord, I'm not even going to bother explaining the uses. I have a pill bottle with a bunch of birch bark in it because to me that's about the best fire starter there is. And I also have another pill bottle with vitamins and pain reliever. I have aspirin and Advil in there, pain relievers. I also keep my Boy Scout of America spoon. It's a real heavy-duty stainless spoon. I can use that to dig with, and I can use it as a spoon for eating. This all goes into the multi-purpose pouch, and my lid goes on that because it's a lot easier to boil water with a lid. And I have a basic first aid kit with a mirror and a few other things. The mirror, you know, it can be used for signaling, but what I use it for is if I get something in my eye, I need to get it out, and I need a mirror to see what I'm doing. Everything I use could be used in a survival situation, but in reality, this is stuff I use every day. You know, I'm not going to put stuff in here. This is more real world rather than make believe or want to believe or whatever. You know, even though this is Molly, there's 2 straps right there. I can hook that right to my belt and I can carry it right on my side. There's no problem with that. But what I typically do if I'm out for a long day and I'm not quite sure where I'm going, especially in the winter time, I bring an extra pair of socks, I bring an extra pair of gloves, I bring an extra head cover, because those are all items that can get wet. And I also bring my little garden trowel for some heavy digging if I need to. I bring a wool scarf, and I bring an extra coat. In this case, it's just my my blue insulated flannel, but what that does is it gives me the option of switching up my clothing throughout the day. Because in Michigan, you know, it could be raining, it could be snowing, it could be below zero, it could be 50 degrees all in one day. So I know you're supposed to dress in layers, and I do dress in layers, but it's nice to have something else you can switch into. If you're, I don't know, let's say you fall in the water or something, your clothes get soaked to the gills, at least, you know, I may not have some dry pants to switch into, but I have dry socks, I have a dry head, and I have a dry upper body where my vitals are. And those are the parts of your body you need to keep warm. And like I said, you know, this isn't some made up kit, it's the real deal. This is what I really use. I keep a headlight also. I don't always bring this, but it's nice to have two lights in case one fails, especially if you're possibly going to be out after dark. My little wild edibles bag goes in on top. These are the gloves that I wear with me, and I always keep a towel of some sort. Usually I keep 2 towels, and then my little daily kit just sits right on top of all that. And my water, if I need it, a quart of water can go in there as well. And the 2 other things that I keep in there are this little square of blue foam, and this is about a 3-foot wide by 12-foot long blue tarp that gets sandwiched in between there. And this actually becomes the backrest of my pack, so this other stuff doesn't poke me. But I gotta clean that off before I put it back in there, because I've actually been out here using it. Oh, here's a couple other things. Actually, in the front here, I keep this boonie hat, because like today it's real sunny. I wore my boggin and the sun's in my eyes, and now it's really too hot for that boggin. I can just switch into the boonie hat like that, and I'm good to go. And I got some other things in here that I don't really need. I was just fooling around and left these in here. There's a few extra rags. This front pouch is mainly for just extra stuff that I can just throw in here on a whim. You know, fire steel, my tinder kit. But this main pouch is where all my everyday stuff that I always keep in here goes, and usually this pack stays in my car. And it's just a cheap pack that I actually found this in the woods buried under a bunch of leaves and dirt. It was I figured it was all rotted, but I brought it home and threw it in the washing machine, and it turned out just fine. And I've been using it hardcore for probably 5 years now, and it's still in top shape. It's got some nice padded shoulders. It doesn't have a waist belt, which is nice, you know, because for me, when I'm out with this pack, I'm using it. I'm always taking it on and off. I don't want a waist belt. and I don't want a pack that's going to weigh a ton. But just for day hikes and for like a one-day survival kit or whatever you want to call it, this is it right here. This will do me. I see right here something I learned again, and I'll be changing this up. Next time I'm out, I'm going to make sure and put some grass or something down under this pad so it doesn't get so ingrained with gravel and sand and stuff. A couple of the things I forgot to show you that are in my, I kind of consider this my PSK, but it doesn't exactly qualify from what I've been told by the experts. But I keep a fire steel in here with a striker, and even though I very much trust birch bark and all kinds of other things that I can normally just find when I'm out, I keep a wet fire cube in here because I know this will work in any conditions. You know, even though I think I can make it just by the stuff I find in the woods, I'm gonna keep that in there just in case. And another thing I added recently is besides a piece of tin foil that I usually keep in here, inside of here is 5 or 6 sugar candies, hard candies, because I was out with my buddy a couple years ago, and he's a diabetic, and he crashed, and all he needs is just a piece of sugar candy and he'll be fine. But without that sugar candy, he was almost in really bad trouble. So even though I'm not a diabetic, I know there's a whole lot of people in this world that are. I'm gonna keep some hard sugar candies in here. I also keep this little bitty imitation Swiss Army knife because it has a pair of tweezers, and also, you know, it has a small knife I can use and a small file. And I keep my watch because I like to know what time it is. Let's say I did get stranded overnight and I fell asleep sometime in the early morning before light, and then I wake up. I have no idea what time it is. Is it almost dark or what? If it's an overcast day, it could be very hard to tell. And I keep a cheap one of those ball compasses. A lot of guys say these are junk, but you know, if you shop around, you'll find one that does point north, and this one does point north if you keep it away from a metal object like a stainless pot or whatever. And that just gives me my basic direction, and for me it's a lot easier carrying that than I have a much better compass that I would take if I went up north, but I just like that because it's small and it's easy to use. I can see it all the time. I don't have to pull it out and hold it in my hand to get a bearing. All I got to do is look at it. And I keep this. This is not Facebook, and I am not your friend. And that's not to knock Facebook people or to say that I'm not friendly. It's to remind me that this is not Facebook. This is Mother Nature, and she can kick your butt if you're not careful. So even though I'm a nature freak and I like to get out and enjoy nature, I always keep that in mind because she could care less if you live or die. So keep that in mind when you're out. Pretty cool area. I like it here. beat that rose bush that time. I walked through there 3 times, and every time that rose bush tore my wool boggin off my head. I felt it nick me that time, but it didn't take this hat off. Do you think I'm prepared enough? Do you think I should have more or less for a simple day hike? You know, I'm out gathering edibles and stuff. I never really know what I'm going to get into or where I'm going to end up. Maybe walking across something like this and, you know, slip and break my leg and not be able to make it up the next hill. I could be 10 miles out, or I could be 2 miles out. You think I got enough gear for what I showed? Or do you think I should be more prepared? If I'm heading off in the west, I got the sun right in my eyeballs. But I wanted to ask a question. I don't do that much on my channel. You know, I don't want people to think I'm a know-it-all or something, but I did an EDC, my everyday carry review, to show you guys all what I carry on a daily basis when I go out on these hikes. And I'm curious to know, you know, do you think it's too much? Do you think it's not enough? Are there things that you would change? And also, even more so, I'd like to know what you guys carry every day when you go out on a hike like this, where it may be a 2-mile hike or a 10-mile hike, and you're not entirely sure what the agenda is. What do you take? What do you take with you? I'd like to know. If you guys could do a video response, that'd be great. And if not, you know, just put it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Anyways, I appreciate all the subscriptions and all the comments you guys have made. You know, like I said, the purpose of my channel isn't to make money or anything. It's just to share these ideas and hopefully get other people to share their ideas too, so we can all learn and you know, not just learn but have fun watching each other's videos. And you know, that's pretty much what it's about for me. So I'll quit babbling and say thanks for watching, and talk to you later.